Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. In the midst of all the new units, the EZAs, we have one of the two new Dokkan Awakenings that came with the Dragon Ball Hero Celebration this year in Janemba Modified, who actually looks pretty good. Unfortunately though, we won't be getting to use his guard. Of course, he only gets his guard on his entry turn. It's basically like an entrance animation without having an entrance animation. He only gets the guard along with a 70% chance of an additional super when facing 2 or more enemies. So when it comes to Super Battle Road and ESBR, he's actually going to be very good for it, considering it lasts for 5 turns. And if it just wasn't restricted to 2 or more enemies, he would have the perfect length of that for Zamasu. But we'll see how he does without it. He is indeed rainbowed. He is not quite level 10 links. I've started working on his links, but of course Shatting the Limit is so low just because that was the new link he did get with his Dokkan Awakening. Also, big bad bosses. There isn't actually many heroes units or crossover units that have heroes, has big bad bosses. So we only have a few, which is Hearts, and I'm pretty sure that's about it. So we will eventually get them on rotation, hopefully, very soon. So for now, we're just going to have Janemba linked up with Rose, and we are starting with a 261k attack stat, 152k defense, which is fine, because on super attack, he will cause supreme damage to the enemy, and he'll raise attack and defense by 30%, and then lower enemies' attack and defense for 3 turns as well by 20%. So let's get him some orbs and see how he does. He is one of those units who is very hyper focused on your team build, and that gives him his buff. So he does get attack and defense plus 40% crossover category ally on the team, which again isn't really too difficult to do when you consider how good a lot of the crossover units are, and a lot of them do fall into the heroes bracket as well. And you can do a mixture of a super and extreme team. I just went full extreme just because literally one more unit would have a full extreme team, so I just did it. But he does get attack and defense plus 40% up to 200%, which is a big boost to miss out on if you don't basically just fill the team up. He then gains an additional attack plus 80% of each attack performed, and then gains an additional defense plus 60% of each attack received, which of course, in any form of difficult content in Dokkan nowadays, building that up is going to take no time at all, especially because you only need to perform 3 attacks to get the full 240% attack. You also need to only be hit 3 times to gain the full 180% defense, which in like Red Zone and Shadow Dragon event, you can literally do that in about 3 turns. Not 3 turns, sorry. You can literally do that in 1 turn. Getting hit 3 times will literally take you 1 turn. Or it can take you 1 turn. So building him up, very easy to do. He then also gains Ki plus 2 and a 70% chance to perform a critical hit starting from the character's next attack in turn after the character performs or receives the 5th attack in battle. Now, without that additional from facing 2 or more enemies, along with the fact again when it comes to Red Zone and Shadow Dragon event, you can build up that defensive part of his passive in pretty much 1 turn. In terms of gaining that 70% chance of a crit and the Ki plus 2, it's going to be once you get hit 5 times, which is also possible to do in literally 1 singular turn. 2 turns at a push. So you will have a 70% chance to crit starting very early on, which considering how short content is nowadays, it is perfect. So Cell sealed, which is good. We now will have big bad bosses active when we lose some HP. Let's just pop that to pop that. The only thing is we lose a lot of the other links because we're not linked up with Rose. So we're already up to a 483k attack stat and 326k defense from what, 1 attack and being hit as many times as we did, and of course having a full crossover team as well. But his numbers are going up fast, like fast, which is great. Like it will take no time at all for this man to build up. There's some more attack for ourselves. We're up to a 2.88 million attack stat. Again, it's mainly because we're missing big bad bosses. Like, we could have took advantage of Rose's, like, transformation boost 170 lead, but again, we do that. That's 40% per unit that isn't on crossover. So we do kind of miss out on quite a bit. So it is worth having him on, like, the majority of the team being filled with crossover units. Like, we could have maybe missed one or two. But, you know, we want to see him at his best, which is 200%, which is the full team being a crossover category team. But so far, his numbers are building up quickly. I think he only needs to do one more attack, and he's got the full 240% attack, because we haven't had the potential system pop at all, which is kind of annoying considering he is rainbowed. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But so far, he's looking strong. He's looking strong. Janemba is looking strong. Could you imagine if he actually did have the guard as well? If it wasn't restricted to facing 2 or more enemies? Guard with the numbers he has. He'd be insane. He'd actually generally be insane if he had that, if he had his guard along with those numbers. And as I said, having it for 5 turns is perfect when you consider turn 5, turn 6 is the longest it's taking to beat Fusion Zamasu. But can you imagine those numbers with that guard? He'd actually generally be insane. So it kind of makes sense why they restricted a little bit. But as I said, when it comes to Super Battle Road ESPR, this man is going to be a monster for it. I know not a lot of people care about it because it's not meaningful, but it's still content that's constantly updated in Dokkan. So it does kind of matter. Still haven't lost enough HP to get big bad bosses, which is really annoying. We're up to 792k attack stat and 509k defense. We do have some of Toa's support as well. But numbers wise, he's looking good, and he's doing this in such short amount of time. And again, a big reason for that is how quickly he can build up in a short amount of time, which is again pretty good with how extremely short content is nowadays. Oh, how much is this gonna do? This actually will probably do quite a bit. No, 25 damage. 25 damage. Oh no, I got it wrong. I got it wrong. No. Silly me. Silly me. The additional is locked behind facing 2 or more enemies. The guard isn't. He launches an additional attack that has a 70% chance of becoming a super attack when facing 2 or more enemies. And he guards all attacks of 5 turns. That's my fault. I misread. So you lose out on the 70% chance of an additional super, and you will only get that if you're facing 2 or more enemies. His guard for 5 turns happens just when he appears for 5 turns. Yeah, he's insane. He's insane. What I just said about if he could have his guard, no, he's insane. He's insane with how quickly his numbers go up with guard. He's very good. Very good. Dokkan's done a good job on his Dokkan Awakening this year. Very good. Quick build up, high numbers with that quick build up, guard for 5 turns, which again, with how short content is, 5 turns is perfect. You may get into turn 6, but Janemba won't even be on that rotation if he appears on turn 1. Even if he isn't and he appears on turn 2, he will still have his guard on turn 6 if you do push to turn 6 against, again, like a Fusion Zamasu. So in terms of his entrance animation without an entrance animation kind of conditional things, 5 turns is perfect. Having the additional would be nice, I can't lie. Especially because, look at his numbers, man. 773k attack stat, 571k defense, and we still don't have big bad bosses active. I didn't get enough orbs. That's really annoying. We still don't have big bad bosses active, and he has those numbers. How much is this gonna do? Start of turn. Only 90k. Again, this is without big bad bosses. Of course, if you get into level 10 links, you're gonna have it active no matter what. But this is still without big bad bosses. I'm so happy I actually read that wrong, and he does actually just naturally have guard for 5 turns, because that makes him so good, so strong. In terms of content, in terms of EZAs and some of the new units, Dokkan have let a few slip, but at the same time, Dokkan have made some very, very strong new heroes units, along with some very, very strong heroes EZAs. It's almost like there's no in between. Actually, no, there is in between. There's some very mid units that have come out this year. There's a couple meaty ones, and there's some very good ones. And then some ridiculous ones, like, again, Limit Breaker Vegito. Janemba is definitely up there. Another unit I cannot wait to try against Fusion Zamasu. Especially that type disadvantage on the first phase with the AoEs, but then that's when he's going to have his guard. And again, building him up, no time at all. Shame is that his potential system hasn't popped yet whatsoever. Considering, again, he is rainbowed, but then that's just typically how my videos go. The potential system, it's like it gets shy. You know, it's like it gets shy. I don't know why. But we still don't have big bad bosses. Alright, what do we have if we leave it like this? An 889k attack stat. Okay, our defense has plummeted down to 219. Actually, we probably got lowered. And if I do this, 703k attack stat, we lose over 100k in terms of attack. Damn! See, that's another thing. If I manage to pull Fu, that's a great support with a unit who also has big bad bosses. But unfortunately, I didn't manage to pull him. Do you know what? For now, let me run this. Let me run this. Just because we actually have, like, we're missing out on so much extra attack. We might as well leave it like this. Right, I'm not really worried about the Dokkan attack. What's the number at the bottom? 6.5 mil. 6.5 mil. Next rotation, we're going to get that Toa support as well. She's easy aid, by the way, if you haven't noticed. Type of Voyage, this will actually do some damage. He has lost his guard at this point. But we do have Type of Voyage. I don't really mind, because if he was to get super attacked, at least we start to lose a bit more HP. Because again, I want big bad bosses active. Like, it's at level 8. We don't have to lose that much health to get it. Like, come on. What's going on? What's going on? You're telling me I can't lose enough HP for a level 8 big bad bosses to get active, but Janemba's potential system won't pop for me to get like an additional or something. Like, what's going on? Seems a little bit backward to me. But this Janemba's very good. Very good, I said. Like, guard for 5 turns is perfect currently in Dokkan. If we get some more longer content, sure, no. But right now, perfect. And then you've got, you know, that incredibly quick build up, which with dupes, which again mine is rainbowed, if the dupe system popped for us literally one additional in one of those early turns when building up his attack, we would have had that 2 out of 3 literally in one turn. But again, for some reason my potential system hasn't popped once this video. But we're finally gonna have big bad bosses active, and the annoying thing is I've rotated hearts off. Dokkan's playing games with me. Dokkan is playing games with me. And we just recovered a lot of health, so it's fine. Oh, look at all that support. 1.3 million attack stats, 647k defense. I'm actually going to leave him in slot 1. I'm actually going to leave him in slot 1 just so we could, I mean, maybe take a bit of damage. No, we're still taking double digits. 8 milli we're up to. 8 milli. Let's not forget as well, we are way past this man, or he's not even actually a man, this demon. We're way past him taking his 5th attack in battle. So don't forget, we have key +2 and an extra 70% chance to crit. Let's not forget, we have that 70% chance to crit as well, which we got ages ago. Like, it's so easy to get that as well. Perform 5 attacks, sure, might take a little bit longer with the, you know, with no built-in additional happening for him. But taking 5 attacks, again, no time at all. His build-up is just snappy, and I love it. I don't want to see how Dark Mask King tanks in slot 1 right now, because we didn't get this far with him. We do need to actually lose some health again, because we need big bad bosses. We might die here, but big bad bosses will only add to the numbers we've seen of Janemba, so it's not too bad. Alright, we didn't actually lose that much. He's very good as well. I mean, we've already established this, but he is very good as well. 180, 190k on Cell. This Cell still actually hits fairly difficult once you get to here. So fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, man, what a Dokkan Awakening. What a Dokkan Awakening. The crazy thing to think of, though, is this is how good his Dokkan Awakening is. In what, like 2 years, maybe 3 years time? I know that's kind of mad to think about, but here we are. Like, we're almost 9 years deep into Dokkan, which is wild. But in like 2 years time, maybe even 3 years time, this Janemba's going to get an easy A. Which, from what I'm seeing of how good he is now, can you imagine how insane he's going to be once he gets an easy A? Like, maybe permanent guard, you know, and that's just the start. What? We have a 1.4 million attack stat, 683k def. It's crazy. I think the only thing they could have done to make this Janemba better, the only thing, because he's already very good, but the only thing that would have helped him out so much that he doesn't even look like he needs, but would have made him even better, and I would have loved him to have, and I say this with any unit that builds up like this, is a built-in additional. And yes, he has one, but one that isn't tied to a strict condition like facing 2 or more enemies, which of course all the meaningful difficult content don't have. It's one, whether that's Red Zone or Shadow Dragon event. Not that he really needs it, but considering how hard like Fusion's Master's hitting, like from the word go, from the word jump, if he had an additional, I generally think he'd probably be up there as maybe one of the strongest units in the game. Maybe. But an additional would have been the only other thing they could have done to this Janemba to make him better. Like, he's very good. I mean, we didn't see him with big bad bosses active. I mean, for me, when I use him, Dokkan, hello. Okay, just look at the pretty scenery. Okay, there we go. Maybe look stupid. He's very good. I said the only thing, give him an additional that isn't tied to a condition, a strict condition, but even then he doesn't really look like he needs it. Especially with the guard and how quickly you can build him up. But he's very good. He is very, very good. The only annoying thing for me, as I said, I only have like one unit I can trigger big bad bosses with because I didn't pull that new Fu if I'm running a full crossover team. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I think they smashed it with his Dokkan Awakening, and the fact that he can get an easy A in a couple years is wild. But as I said, let me know your thoughts. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, have a good rest of your day, and post.